everybody? Welcome back to the Humm Baby Baseball channel. This is Eric, and there's a major election going on today, and the results are in. The results are in. And what election is that? I ain't talking about New Hampshire. I'm talking about Cooperstown. And we have new Hall of Famers. And I'm very happy for three guys we're going to talk about, but I also want to talk about those that didn't get in because I'm a little bit pissed, but not really because I already expected that. I actually predicted in my Hall of Fame ballot video that the only two that would get in would be Beltre and Helton. I thought Mauer, I said maybe. I didn't think he would make it, but I thought it'd be very, very close. I said Beltre would get north of 95%. And as it turns out, Beltre got 95.1%. Congratulations to Adrian Beltre. First year on the ballot, he's in. Todd Helton, I just thought that he was just getting that momentum, that this would be the year for him. Sure enough, 79.7%, sixth year on the ballot. Todd Helton is in. And a little surprising, but I'm happy for him, Joe Mauer makes it in his first year, 76.1%. Joe Mauer is a Hall of Famer. Unfortunately, Billy Wagner was the fourth guy who had a chance this year, and he falls just a bit outside, 73.8% for Billy Wagner. So did want to talk about these guys, these three Hall of Famers, but I want to say hello to the people. The Disinfo Warrior, David Wright, Mark Burley, K-Rod, and Torrey Hunter all stayed on. Torrey Hunter got a lot to say about him. It looks like he's not going to get in the Hall of Fame. He does have obviously 9 more years on the ballot if he can keep getting 5%, but I think he got 7. What did he get? 7.3. Absolutely disgraceful. That is absolutely disgraceful. In his fourth year on the ballot, Torrey Hunter is getting no support. I mean, no support. If I said he had 9 more years, I misspoke. He actually has about 6 more years on the ballot. Joe Boyd, James Jones, and Wagner should have made the yeah. Curt Schilling should be in the Hall of Fame. Do not care what your politics is. Should be based on what you've done in the field. Barry Bonds needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Jeff Kent and Kenny Lofton should also be in. Absolutely. Wagner will get in next year. Jones in 2 years. I don't know about Jones in 2 years. You sure on that? Jones got 61.6. He's got about 15% more to go, 14% more to go. You know, if he was in the 70s, I'd say, yeah, for sure. But good Lord, I can't say he'll get in. I remember Jeff Kent was trending like this, and he didn't make it in. It's no guarantee Andruw Jones was going to get in. Gary Sheffield in his last year fell short, 63.9%. Now, Gary Sheffield's got 500 home runs. He should be in, but he's got a little steroid connection. I guess not as strong as the Alex Rodriguez, because he was never actually suspended or failed a test, but he does have a connection, or at least very strong suspicion, and I think that's why he falls short. Where you have A-Rod and Manny who actually failed tests, so they are not even close. What's going on, everybody? I see the same two people with the comments. You guys are awesome. Joe Boyd and the Disinfo Warrior. The writers love writing clickbait articles. Why Derek Jeter isn't a Hall of Famer. Yeah, that's some clickbait. That's some clickbait. I see all the clickbait for the free agency. They never want to tell you the name. They'll say former Giants outfielder signed by the Dodgers. You're like, holy shit, who is this? You click on it, someone you never heard of. We got Spencer, Daniel Berry. Buster definitely gets in now that Mauer did. What's up, DK Reviews? What's going on, everyone? Eric, are the Giants done signing free agents? I don't think so. I think Giants are going to sign some more free agents. We'll have to wait and see who they might be. Cardinals fans are here. Mauer numbers are not good enough for a guy who played half a career at first base. The Hall of Fame is rigged. Ichiro and CC Sabathia will be on next year. They sound like, well, Ichiro's 100 first ballot, and I would say CC is as well. You don't like the Mauer numbers. I was going to check out some numbers as well. You don't like Joe Mauer's number. Joe Mauer, I mean, nobody had this guy. I say the same thing about what's his name, Utley, Chase Utley, who got 28.8%. Chase Utley had a nice peak, but didn't win any MVPs, didn't even get in the top 5, not even top 6 for MVP, and didn't have any big career numbers when he retired, less than 2,000 hits. So Chase Utley, I don't think he's really, I don't think he's there for me. I don't think Chase Utley's a Hall of Famer. But Joe Mauer, on the other hand, his peak was freaking sick. Did he get top 5 for MVP? How about first place MVP award 2009 and a top 5 finish in 2008, 6th place in 2006? But we're talking about 3 Gold Gloves. Utley doesn't have any Silver Slugger awards. And at his peak, dude hit 365 in 09, 328 in 08, 347, led the league in batting average 3 out of 4 years. I mean, dude was sick. 28 home runs this year. I wish he would have had more power throughout his career. I wish he could have bumped up these power numbers a little bit and get around 300 plus home runs. The power numbers are a little bit lacking. I guess he's never really been a power hitter, but he did it in 2009. I don't know what happened that year. 28 bombs. Never really repeated that. But when you're hitting 306 for your career, and he did get over 2,000 hits, 2,100 hits, you got your MVP. The guy was just amazing. He did have to go to first base, but despite those injuries, he still played well all the way through 2018. He hit 282 his last year. He could have kept playing. But he decided that it was a career after 15 years, and I think he's deserving. Now, do I think he's as more deserving than Andruw Jones? Hell to the no. That's the crazy thing. Andruw Jones not getting any support is the one major complaint. Andruw Jones, 61.6% is an absolute embarrassment in his 7th year. 10 Gold Gloves. 10. 5-time All-Star. He didn't get an MVP, but he could have. He was Major League Player of the Year. And when let's be honest. I mean, the only reason he didn't get it is because Albert freaking Pujols played out of his mind. But this is an MVP caliber season. 51 homers, 128 RBIs. I mean, I do not understand the problem with Andruw Jones. Look at these power numbers: 31, 26, 36, 34, 35, 36, 29, 51, 41, 26, all while winning Gold Gloves every year. Who in the right mind is not voting for Andruw Jones? This is my new Fred McGriff. Okay, I used to get pissed about Fred McGriff, which was insane that he never got in. This is just as baffling, in my opinion. We have Logan, DK, Joe Boyd, Rollins, or Chase Utley will never make it based on this. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't. I rarely don't vote for it. I'm a pretty generous voter, but I wouldn't vote for at least now. I mean, I'm not saying I won't continue to consider Chase Utley and listen to arguments on Chase Utley on MLB Network and whatnot, and listen to what people have to say about Chase Utley. And it's not all about numbers and awards, but like homeboy never finished higher than 7th in 2006. Well, he finished below who? Ryan Howard, Albert Pujols, Lance Berkman, Carlos Beltran, Miguel Cabrera. Carlos Beltran didn't get in either. Alfonso Soriano, Jose Reyes. They all finished higher than him in his best year as far as MVP attempts. His best year was 7th place. Good. I mean, dude, Utley was a beast in his prime. Utley was a beast from 2006 to 2010. Utley was a every day he went to the ballpark against the Phillies, he was one of the guys you were scared of in that lineup. And he was a great defender, but he didn't win any Gold Gloves. He was a great defender and very solid producer. Had injury issues, ended up with the Dodgers, and I say this peak is not enough. So you better have close to 3,000 hits. You don't even have 2,000. Not even 1,900. 1,800 hits. 259 home runs is nice. 1,000 RBIs. I don't. Where's the Hall of Fame? Where's the Hall of Fame at? Where's your peak? Pretty good, pretty awesome, but I don't see it. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't see it there. I just don't see it. Now, I wouldn't be mad if he gets in. We got a new subscriber, Rick Kane. Rick Kane. Thank you for subscribing. I do appreciate that. I was gonna say I won't be mad if he gets in, but I'll be annoyed because How are you going to put Chase Utley in? And are you kidding me? And not put in Andruw Jones? And honestly, I'm going to got a hot take right here. You want a hot take? I would vote for, and I did put him on my ballot, I would vote for Torii Hunter before Chase Utley. Torii Hunter, okay, maybe he wasn't the superstar. He doesn't have the name. His name doesn't have that pop that Chase Utley's name has. Look at this career. That's a career, 19 years. He did get 2,000 hits. In fact, almost 2,500. So he's got, that's a long, powerful, illustrious career. He had more power, 353 homers. I don't know if he had more power, but he definitely hit more home runs. Almost 100 more home runs than Utley. Oh, but what about the defense? What? Torii Hunter was a freaking 9-time Gold Glover. So let's forget defense, because Torii Hunter is a 9-time Gold Glover who hit more home runs, who had more hits, and he even had a better batting average. 277. What's Utley's? 275. He had better batting average. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Maybe Utley in his prime was better. Maybe Utley in his prime, in his best year, was better. But the overall career, I'd rather have Hunter in. And Hunter also finished 6th for MVP. So they both finished as high for MVP in their best year. Okay, wait. No. Utley finished 7th in his best year. Hunter even got closer to an MVP. So that's just me. I would honestly vote for Nomar Garcia-Parra before Torii Hunter. Well, Rick Kane, that's okay. You don't agree, but I'm showing you the roster. I'm showing you what I'm saying. Fact. Torii Hunter had almost 2,500 hits. Fact. Torii Hunter has 9 Gold Gloves. Fact. Torii Hunter has 353 home runs. Not 500, but 353 bombs. Look at these. Look at this home run production from 2001, 27, 29, 26, 23. Had some injury problems in 2005, only hit 14. 31, 28, 21, 22, 23, 23, even 22 in his last year in 2015. Like Giants have trouble finding just one dude who could hit 20 home runs. This guy was a machine. I mean, I'm not saying that he has to bid in. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, can we get him more than freaking 7.3%? Holy cow. But I'm on the Hunter train. I'm on the Hunter train. Choo-choo! I'm on the Torii Hunter train. Choo-choo! Okay. Thank you so much, M. Billy. Can you please do the Immaculate Grid? Oh, we'll definitely do that before I get out. I want to touch on some of these guys here. Omar Vizquel had some off-the-field issues that tanked his chances. He is usually on my ballot. I didn't have room for him this year, but I do agree. I mean, if I voted for everyone I want to get in, if it was unlimited names, I'd have Beltre, Helton, Mauer, Wagner, Sheffield, Jones, Beltran, A-Rod, Manny. I wouldn't put Utley. I'll put Vizquel. I'll put Abreu. Jimmy Rollins, serious consideration. I'm not sure if I'd put him. Definitely would put Andy Pettit. Definitely would put Bobby Abreu. Definitely would put Torii Hunter. And I'd even consider, believe it or not, my man Bartolo Colon, because he had that longevity. How did Adrian Gonzalez only get 3 votes? Damn. Brandon Phillips. Somebody voted for Brandon Phillips. Jose Reyes got screwed. No votes. Anyway, so congratulations, Adrian Beltre. I mean, I talked about it in my video. Adrian Beltre, absolutely deserving. Hall of Fame career, 3,000 hits. He's got everything it takes. And the only question is, why didn't he get more votes? Todd Helton, we've been waiting for this day. This is a huge moment for Todd Helton to get in. I was tired of them holding it against him that he happened to play at Coors Field. That's ridiculous. He's still tore it up on the road. And then Joe Mauer we talked about. So Billy Wagner, I think, will get in next year. He's one of the greatest closers of all time. He's got over 400 saves and an insanely good ERA, low 2s in the career ERA. There's no way Billy Wagner shouldn't be in. He's better than most of the relievers who are in, and it's a shame that he hadn't got in yet. Gary Sheffield's falling off the ballot. We'll see how the committee treats his name next time he's available for them. But he got close. He got surprisingly close. Andruw Jones, I've ranted and raved about. Andruw Jones is the biggest thing that pisses me off. And what's up with Carlos Beltran? Carlos Beltran didn't get much. Carlos Beltran didn't get much support. I thought that he would have a big bump after last year. Let me see, 57.1. And last year he got, this is last year's ballot, 46.5. So he did get a bump from 46.5 to 57. So about an 11% bump. I thought it'd be even a bigger bump. I thought a lot of people weren't voting for him in the first ballot because of the Astros cheating thing. Rick Kane, Hoodie, James Minks. But it is what it is. William Jones. Me too. Torrey Hunter is a wonderful Hall of Famer. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Barry Bonds needs to get in. Absolutely, 100%. I agree. I think Beltran eventually gets in, one of the best switch hitters of all time. Yeah, that the voting is just, it's just a complete joke that you limit the vote to about, what, 400 writers. You have to be, this is formed in the 30s, back when the baseball writers were the only reporters. There wasn't no news. There wasn't no media other than the newspaper. That's it. That was it. That's where you get your news from. You know, maybe some magazines, some publications, but back then there wasn't MLB Network, there wasn't ESPN, there wasn't TV, there wasn't reporters. There damn sure wasn't YouTube. Damn sure wasn't people like me talking about. And I'm not saying I should get a vote, but definitely it should expand past just the writers. We need to open this thing up. People who are reporters on MLB Network, they know what they're talking about. Ex-players know what they're talking about. Ex-players might be a little too generous, but it's not an all or nothing. It's just give them a portion of the vote, let their vote count, let them, and the fans. I think fans should have a vote. But it's up to the it's up to the writers, and it's up to the Hall of Fame to decide how it's going to work. Large Turkey. I see all your comments, Logan. They're all about one thing. And appreciate you checking out the videos on my other channels. But we got to focus on baseball. This is a baseball channel. What don't you freaking understand? Don't make me go off. I do appreciate your views on my other channel. It really means a lot. Thank you. But just like I can't go live over there and talk about baseball, people will be pissed. But I do appreciate it. Gary Sheffield didn't get in, didn't quite make it. Why does David Ortiz get to be the only confirmed PED user? Yeah, they don't think he's confirmed because they think that test, they just don't want to count that one because he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy, and that's why. Barry Bonds, they don't like. Let's just be honest. I like Big Papi. I think he should be in too, but definitely not before Bonds, not before Clemens, and frankly, not before A-Rod, especially because he has that one failed test. Now, I know he passed 1 million tests after that, so I get it. Like, he obviously played most of his career clean, and maybe that test was BS. I don't know. But that's weird because usually any kind of connection, any kind of failed test, you're out. You have no chance. So anyway, let's see. Anyone else deserve in, didn't get in? You know, I mean, like, I can live with some of these guys not getting in, whether it's Andy Pettitte. I think Andy Pettitte's postseason career puts him over the top for me. David Wright stays on the ballot. That's pretty cool. David Wright had a short career because of his back issues. I don't think, let's just take a gander at it. I didn't put him on my ballot. I didn't really consider him because I just knew that I didn't have room for him. But he did play technically 14 years. Really, it was 13 years, if that, because those last two, I mean, honestly, he played about 11 years and 10 full seasons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seasons over 100 games. So And one of those was 102. One of those was 112. Really 8 fully healthy seasons. I'd say 134. I'll give that to you. 8 fully healthy seasons, and was able to rack up 7 All-Stars, 2 Gold Gloves, 2 Silver Sluggers, 242 career home runs, a 296 average, 867 career OPS is amazing. He definitely had the Hall of Fame talent. I just don't think he put up enough numbers. I just don't know about that. With only 1,777 hits, that's a tough one for me. That's a tough one for me, especially because they don't put anyone in, so you have to put your ballot. Your 10 guys have to be. He just falls short. You know, it's tough to me to say. David Wright didn't give enough hugs to the writers, and they're mad at him. Exactly. Andruw Jones should be in. It's a joke. Bonds was baseball. Ortiz numbers increased dramatically. That is when he took steroids. Joe Boyd, Jack Crick. Baseball was always rigged, which is why steroids shouldn't even be held against players. Yeah, dude, they allowed them to be used. They were used all over the game. I mean, this is just where we're at, man. This phase. This phase is going to have to end. This phase of not voting for Hall, if it's going to end, because eventually they'll all fall off the ballot, which is coming soon, and it'll be up to the not the writers, but the committee. The committee, at least they have that second chance, and the committee's going to have to do the right thing someday, and I think they will. I think in our lifetime, most of our lifetimes, we will see it happen. I'm about to go run. I was actually going to go run, and I said, you know what? I got to go live for this freaking Hall of Fame thing. I was going to do it during the thing, but I was watching MLB Network, and I thought, they'll do a better job of that coverage, and I'll just go live after the fact. So we are live now. But yeah, MLB Network, what did they have to say? Let's check it out.
Beltre almost got 100%.
In 95.1.
95.1. And I'm thinking, what, Derek Jeter was right above him? Mm-hmm. Mariano, Jeter, Beltre.
No, there are others.
There's others in between?
Yeah. But
that's what I thought about. You asked my first thought.
Yeah.
What
about you, Tom?
For me, and we know this, there's lots of ways to get to Cooperstown, right? And this sort of defines that. Beltre probably wasn't a Hall of Fame, or at least on that track, until his 30s, right?
Yeah.
And you look at Helton and Mauer, one team their whole career.
Yep.
And to me, that's kind of
cool,
like
man.
the traditional old school Hall of Famer. You think of the team, the franchise, they both represent the franchise of the city so well.
Here's what did it for Mauer, the combination. One team, his hometown team, catcher, which counts for extra, even though it was barely half of his career, if that, total games played. At catcher, it was enough, and the 3 batting titles. But still, he made it by 4 votes, just by 4. And Billy Wagner, as you said, Greg, missed by just 5, and Billy has only 1 more year left.
Yes, he
Yeah, Billy will get in next year, I believe, for sure. There's no way. On the last year in the ballot, Billy Wagner will get in next year. We'll look at next year's ballot, but Billy Wagner will be in next year. And yeah, Joe Mauer, because he played in Minnesota, his hometown, his whole career with the Twins. I mean, I don't know that should count for that much, but apparently it was enough to get him over the top. First year, Joe Mauer does not have to worry about stressing over the Hall of Fame. He's got it. Todd Helton's in, Beltre's in. And biggest complaint is Andruw Jones. Carlos Beltran should be in. I think he'll get in eventually. The biggest thing I'm pissed off about is Billy Wagner, but I think he'll get in next year. But Andruw Jones, I'm furious at 61%. Absolute joke. Absolute joke. Last year, he got 58. He only jumped by 3%. He got 226 votes, and this year he got 237. 11 more people decided to vote for him than did last year. If Mauer gets in first ballot, Posey and Molina should. Oh, yeah, Molina will. Posey, I hope. Posey, I hope. Posey, I hope. It has been a little rainy. It has been a little rainy. You bought the hookah shoes I have. Holy cow, dude. Holy cow. And you got a Fitbit 2 watch. You got to slow down, man. You got to slow down on that. You got to be your own person. You got to make your own, you got to be your own person, dude. You have your own opinions and your own things. I do appreciate the support. Rick Kane. should have been Nomar over Bonds. Nomar. Rick Kane's a big Nomar Garcia Parra fan. Hey, Nomar is excellent. No way I can complain about Nomar. Rookie of the year, 6-time All-Star, Silver Slugger Award winner, and he's got a trophy full of all kinds of stuff. So I mean, I should say a mantle full of all kind of trophies. Led the league in doubles one year, and had a nice career. Guy in his prime, dude was out. You couldn't get him out. In his prime, you couldn't get him out. Doubles machine and just a beast. We got Robert Rothberg, SF Redemption time. Yeah.
Had over 73% of the vote, almost 74% for Billy Wagner. Gary Sheffield only went up about 9% from last year's 55% voting total. What else stands out to you, Bob, when you walk through the numbers here?
Well, Sheffield now falls off the ballot, but as we saw with Fred McGriff, almost immediately he was elected by a Veterans Committee, so Sheffield will have his day with Veterans Committees. Andruw Jones still has a few years left. Carlos Beltran's going to get in. As you said earlier, slap on the wrist for the Astros cheating scandal. Then he goes up from that figure. This year, he's got plenty of time left on the ballot. The guy beneath him, Alex Rodriguez, is not only the best player on the ballot, he's one of the best players of all time, which is what makes that portion of his career, even though he has a post-career where he seems to be embraced on television and whatnot, still, the tragedy is that Alex Rodriguez, if he never had anything more substantial than a protein shake, would have been in Cooperstown already on his natural
merits. And he slipped 1% from last year's voting along with Manny Ramirez.
Yeah, and Manny Ramirez obviously is stuck because of the PED connections. Chase Utley at nearly 29%.
Like you said, that's why A-Rod, generational talent. A-Rod is the new Bonds, Clemens on that ballot. A-Rod and Manny, but mostly just A-Rod. A-Rod, I never really cared for him. His character he didn't come off to me as a great dude, but could be totally wrong on that. He does seem like he's doing a nice job here in his post career, talking on MLB Network, whatever, doing the games. But bottom line is he needs a plaque. Alex Rodriguez, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, even Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, maybe those guys need plaques in Cooperstown. We're just ignoring some of the greatest players of a generation, of the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, about a 30-year span where we ignore some of the best players. And I get that these voters, I get that the writers are perfect. That's really cool for them. That's cool that they're perfect and don't make mistakes. Because, I mean, that's sick, dude. That's sick for them. But for the rest of us, we F up sometimes. Put these guys in. Feel bad for Manny. He just tries to get back in MLB because he wants to prove he can do it without PDs. He probably could have. 100%. Bonds, Ortiz, A-Rod, Schilling, Clemens. Who freaking cares about hurt feelings or PEDs? Even without PEDs, they changed the game. Every one of them. Rose, too, they belong in the Hall. Keeping it real. That's what I'm saying.
A lot of guys who got in debuted on the ballot much lower than that. Omar Vizquel was on a Hall of Fame track. He was around 50%, maybe even a little bit more. Then some unsavory, very unsavory stuff comes out about him, and that is the sole reason. There's no baseball on the field reason. That is the sole reason that he's dropping out of sight. Bobby Abreu is a favorite of some people who lean heavily on analytics, and he compares in some categories favorably to Hall of Famers, but most of the voters aren't buying it. Jimmy Rollins didn't do as well as his Keystone partner, Chase Utley. When you look at Jimmy Rollins' 2007 MVP season, admittedly, it's only one season. It's one of the great seasons in modern baseball history. And Andy Pettitte and Mark Burley, they are in the Hall of the Very Good. And there's nothing wrong with being in the Hall of the Very Good. Torrey Hunter and David Wright stay on the ballot, by the way. These guys.
No respect right there for Torrey Hunter. No respect right there for Torrey Hunter. Just got to mention. Don't understand that. I just don't understand that. I'm not saying he needs to get in, but I don't understand. There's like no arguments for Torrey Hunter. Did Brian Kenny? Maybe Brian Kenny supports Torrey Hunter. Brian Kenny wants everyone in. That's the only guy. I'm just curious. Let me see here. I want to see Brian Kenny's ballot. Okay, wait. First, let's see Mad Dogs. Wait. Oh, that's it. Brian Kenny usually has 10 names.
Make it, but we'll have some fun with Mr. Brian Kenny as we track right now. Brian, nice to have you with us. Let's do one thing first. When you're above the 75% closure with the tracker, does
Oh, this is old. This is old. That's why I saw Jeff Kent on there. This is old. My bad. This is old. I thought that was this year. I want to know what Brian Kenny thinks about Tory Hunter, but I was tripping. It doesn't really matter. Bottom line is, I don't know why Tory Hunter doesn't get a little more, just a teeny bit more credit for his career. But, you know, I guess defense doesn't matter. I get that, but damn. We got Rick Kane failing miserably. Bob Costas is trying his darn hardest to look like Mark Hamill. May the force be with him. Once again, Andruw Jones gets in. Tory Hunter will, once Andruw Jones gets in, Tory Hunter will gain a lot of steam. I hope so. Media provoked bonds in regard to his personality. They should have shown him more respect. Keeping it real. If you're effing putting an MLB team in Vegas, aka the gambling capital of the, there's no logic and reasoning behind Rose not being in. I'd rather not see Schilling's name, but can't disagree with that. Veterans Committee is the backup for the snobby ass writers. Keeping it real. You already know because I've told you about that. You wouldn't ask me about that unless I've said it. I've talked about the heel injections and the plantar fasciitis. Don't play with me. In my opinion, P. Rose needs to be Hall of Fame. Bonds, Ortiz, A-Rod, Schilling, Clemens. Keeping it real. Let's check out. So, yeah, that's pretty much my take on it. I'm pissed off about Andruw Jones, A-Rod, and Manny. We know what's going on there. Chase Utley, I don't think is a Hall of Famer. Omar Vizquel, he's only dropping because of the off-the-field accusations. Do I agree with that? No, man. It's pretty bad accusations, but until there's actual charge or conviction, I don't hold it against someone unless there's just overwhelming evidence and there's some reason we know why they weren't convicted. But if it's just accusations, I have a hard time holding that against somebody. Anyone can accuse anyone of anything. No, there's no actual conviction. Now, there's exceptions. O.J. Simpson wasn't convicted, but there was quite a bit of freaking evidence. So I can see why someone might still, think that he's not the greatest guy in the world. But Omar Vizquel, I haven't really seen the evidence. I've seen some talk, and I mean, maybe I need to look into that more. But bottom line is, I don't totally agree with taking away his vote because he had the Hall of Fame career, in my opinion, but he's not getting in. Bobby Abreu, I think I would vote for him if I had room on my ballot, which I wouldn't because there's too many names, but he's not getting in. Jimmy Rollins is an interesting case, and he had that great season. Overall, as a career, I didn't put him on my ballot. I think he's pretty close borderline. He played with the Giants in one spring training before he retired. I mean, he came with the Giants and wasn't playing. He ended his career 221, 224. Didn't do too well at the end of his career. Kind of petered out. Never was I mean, he was a huge superstar. 2007, he won the MVP at 296. Hit that 30 home runs, 20 doubles. Just had a massive year. Played in every single game. But 2,455 hits, 231 home runs. He's a borderline case. He could definitely get in. I could have it either way. I could go either way with Jimmy Rollins. I would put him on my ballot if I had room, but there's no way I'd have room for him. Yeah, how many great seasons do you have to have be a Hall of Famer? I'll put it this way. I'd say at least 5 if your peak is sick. If you're freaking like Hack Wilson, one of those people who had a short career, short peak, you're sick, you better be breaking records and doing things that like just unbelievable things. You have that kind of peak, I'm okay with you getting in. But if not, you better have at least close to 10 great seasons, 8, 9 great seasons. You have 9 great seasons. Now, Andruw Jones had 10 plus great seasons, 10 straight gold gloves. So if you are going to only have a short, you can have 4 or 5 or 6, but it better be the lesser, the better your seasons better have been. If you don't have this great peak, well, at least it's got to last, I'd say 8 years, 8 years minimum. 7 decent, really strong years like Chase Utley? No. Chase Utley had a solid peak. Some would say great peak, but it ain't no historic peak. Chase Utley, well, you don't go to the ballpark and be like, oh my God, Chase Utley's in the lineup. We're going to walk him, just walk his ass. No, he's just a solid player. He was a good, hard player, goes out there and puts up great numbers, had power, great defense. He was great. But he wasn't no Hack Wilson. He wasn't no Barry Bonds. He wasn't nothing close. Not even a David Ortiz. He wasn't no David Ortiz. He wasn't anything like that. We looked at David Wright, but we can do that again. David Wright ends up with 242 home runs, 296 average, really impressive, 376 on base and 491 slugging, 867 OPS career. Very impressive. But he just had so many injury prone seasons. After 14, he just couldn't get back on the field. He had that last couple of games in 2018, last couple of at bats, wasn't able to get a hit. But yeah, tough career, tough way to end his career. He had all the Hall of Fame potential, but you got to get it done. You can't just be like, he got hurt, so we're still going to put him in. I don't know about that. You still got to put up the numbers. 296 average is solid. 242 home runs. The hit total is a little low. That's a little low. I don't think we've had a Hall of Famer with only 1,777 hits in a long time. You got to go back to the early days of baseball, I think. I could be wrong, but that's a very low hit total for an offensive player in the Hall of Fame. Very low hit total for someone in the Hall of Fame. Now, Curt Flood is very rarely do players get, usually we just look at their career. I just want to know the numbers. Curt Flood is a different case because he's the, basically helped the entire baseball player with the, helping get the union going, helping be able to get players, get to free agency, appealing the case all the way to the Supreme Court. And a big part of why players are treated so well, although they still don't think so because they're constantly going on strike and we're having lockouts. And, that's still that battle between the players and owners will always continue because neither side is happy. The owners want more money. Players want their rights and money as well. And it's a big battle. But I think Curt Flood gets extra credit for doing that. And he should get that. And he was also, as you look at his career here, when you take that into account and 7 Gold Gloves, 3 All-Stars already, I'm thinking, yes, 15-year career. He had more hits than David Wright, 1,861 hits, 293 average. When you take all that into account, if you just said that this was his career, he's a borderline case already. I probably wouldn't, but he's borderline. Most of his success came in the second half of his career. When you take into account his off-the-field contributions, I think so. I think he gets in. I think he should be in. There's your answer. I think he should be in. I think Curt Flood should definitely get in the Hall of Fame. How is Curt Flood not in the Hall of Fame? How the hell is Curt Flood not in the Hall of Fame? I guess they really are just looking at the stats, but then they don't look at just the stats for Bonds or for anyone else. They don't look at just the stats for Vizquel. So I guess I got you. If you do bad things off the field, fudge you. If you do great things off the field, we don't give a fudge. Got it. Got it. Just want to make sure I get that. Let's look at next year's ballot, the 2025 2025 potential MLB ballot. Already we got it right here, updated, I think, here on Baseball Reference. And just out of curiosity, Billy Wagner will be in his 10th and final year on the ballot. Andruw Jones will be in his 8th year. Andruw Jones better get some massive support or I'm going to be pissed. Carlos Beltran should have a big bump next year. Then you have A-Rod, Manny, Chase, all the regulars, Omar, his 8th year, Bobby Abreu, Jimmy Rollins, Andy Pettit, Mark Burley, Francisco Rodriguez, Torrey Hunter, who I think should be in, and David Wright. And our first time possible guys next year, I don't know if this is confirmed. These are some possibilities for the Hall of Fame. Definitely Ichiro will be there and he'll get in. Should be 100%, but probably won't be. CC Sabathia. As David Knight mentioned earlier, CC Sabathia had a freaking career. And I played high school with, well, actually, I didn't play high school with CC. He wasn't on my team, but played at the same exact time around the same exact area as CC Sabathia. So CC Sabathia, which we called, I think his name was Charlie or Charles at that time. We didn't call him CC, but the dude was an absolute beast even then. Turns out he's got 251 wins, and I think he's getting in. Other than that, Dustin Pedroia, that's going to be an interesting case. Dustin Pedroia, the freaking light show, he had a nice career, 14 years, 1,800 hits, 299 average. He won't get in on the first ballot, though. He won't get in. Ian Kinsler, Felix Rodriguez, Troy Tulowitzki. Man, he looked like he was going to be a Hall of Famer for sure. Ben Zobrist, Curtis Granderson, Hanley Ramirez, Russell Martin, Andruw Jones, Adam Jones, sorry. Brian McCann, Martin Prado, Cargo. I wanted the Giants to sign Cargo at the end of this year. I'll still take him. Melky Cabrera. Holy cow, he's been retired 5 years. Clay Buchholz. We have Francisco Liriano, Ian Desmond. I thought he'd been retired forever. Kendrys Morales, Mark Trumbo, Fernando Rodney, and Mark Reynolds. Got a strikeout machine as a hitter. Mark Reynolds used to strike out like he was going out of style. How many career strikeouts he got? 1,927 career strikeouts. Holy cow. Mark Reynolds. So there you have it for next year. Why didn't I vote for Ichiro? Please pay $14.99 to continue reading this article. Exactly. Tulo went from a near lock to almost guaranteed to be a one and done. Exactly. Yeah, he should get in. He should get in. If you get David Wright in, Will Clark should get in. I agree with that. So thank you guys so much for being here today for today's quick emergency Hall of Fame stream. And please check out my new video if you haven't already. It's completely flopping over on my channel. I had high hopes for it. So let's hope the algorithm picks it up, because so far the algorithm is not giving a crap about my new documentary on the worst promotions in MLB history. If you haven't checked it out, check that out. Please watch it in its entirety if you don't mind. And if you're not enjoying it, just let it run. You don't even have to watch. Just let it run. That would mean a lot. You don't have to, but that would actually mean a lot. I'm gonna put a link in the description, so feel free to check that video out if you haven't already, and get it some watch time, because it's completely bombing. It's completely bombing. Only has 390 views, and this is the we're in the back end right here. Look at this. It's holding right at the this dark gray represents my normal video. You can see it's right at the very bottom of that. It's completely bombing. Absolutely bombing right now. And I'm pretty dejected. I'm pretty dejected from this. Okay. Thank you so much. Keep up the great work. I do appreciate everyone. Thank you guys for the amazing support. Compare that to my last documentary, and look at the difference. This thing went up into the stratosphere. That's the line down here. Can't predict YouTube, man. Can't predict YouTube. But sometimes it starts slow and then the algorithm will pick it up. So you never really know. Let me know what y'all think. If you're seeing this after the fact, I do appreciate the great support, everyone. Shout out to Jason Corona, Disinfo Warrior, Flea Market Floppy Disc, G Skin. I agree with that. Wagner all day. Jalen, thank you so much for being here. Nanyo Business, thank you so much. I appreciate it. T. Higgins, and everyone else, guys, have a great day. And we will talk to you in the next video.
You did it! Congratulations!